Folks, let me ask you a question. Who is starting at shooting guard? Is it Buddy? Is it Brandin? Is it Melton? Who's starting at small forward? Is it Wiggins? Is it Kuminga? At center, is it Looney? Trayce Jackson-Davis? Draymond? Well, we're now 3 days in the training camp, and we're starting to find out some of these battle positions. We know Steph Curry is starting. Steve Kerr said Draymond will be starting as well. But the 4 or the 5, we don't know. That could play a big part in what happens at the 3 and maybe at the 2. So we're going to break down for you the position battles here, training camp day 3, give you everything Randy Silver Warriors Digest. If you want all the Warriors news daily, training camp, free agency. Yesterday we broke down how the Warriors can make a big trade just like the Knicks. Anything around this team, Randy Silver, Warriors Digest, we got it. Let's get into it. So the biggest news of training camp is this, folks. Andrew Wiggins has not practiced. Don't worry, it's not a major injury. Per Anthony Slater, he's missed his 3rd straight day of practice. He's doing some light work, but he's sick. And I'm sure you've had the flu before. You've been sick, and it's not fun. And it's hard to practice. You don't want to get the other players sick, so he's not playing. Meaning he will not be playing in preseason game 1, the game against the Clippers. So starting at your small forward is probably Kuminga, if that's where Kerr wants him. But maybe he plays 4, and we're going to get into that. So if you don't see Wiggins playing Saturday night, you haven't seen anything on social media, don't worry. He's sick. There's nothing crazy going on. He'll be back. So the question is, who's starting at the 2? Podziemski started there last year next to Steph. Melton's come in, plays dog defense. Reports coming out of training camp, or he's like a GP2 clone. They're twins. This is great because our defense really suffered when GP2 wasn't here last year as an all on-ball defender, that on-ball point defender. It really disrupts the team's offense when you can get the point guard at half court and not let them get set. And then Buddy, we know can shoot 40% from 3. Is he this number 2 shooter on this team? Supposedly, maybe he's coming off the bench, but has he been able to earn his way to starting next to Steph? Whoever's starting next to Steph, it's the most important position on that starting 5. It used to be Klay Thompson, Splash Brothers, gone. And when someone can start next to Steph and drain threes, it opens up the game for Steph where he's not getting double teamed. And the thing as well is when Steph's not playing, the non-Steph minutes is crucial for this team. Can they be in the positive? Who will be the number 1 ball handler? Probably Brandin, you would have to think, meaning he may be losing the number 2 battle and he'll be the backup point guard because they want him to be his more traditional position, point guard, at some points in this season. Last year, when Curry and Podziemski both started, Warriors went 17-8. Not a bad record. So now the question from Kerr. Who's going to start? And he's speaking about Brandin here. He might start. If he does start, he'll come out early, then come in for Steph. If he doesn't start, he'll come off the bench and handle a lot of the ball handling duties. So exactly what I just mentioned. If he starts, expect him to play 3 to 5 minutes. And 3 is too short. It's a 12-minute quarter. Let's call it 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. Comes out. Steph plays the first 8 to 10 minutes of the first quarter, and will sit out the rest and get his break until the second quarter. So Brandin comes out. He'll get a 2-minute breather. He'll come in, and he'll be the number 1 point guard for that second unit. So that probably means he starts, and Buddy comes in on number 2. Or if they're down a bit, they need some better defense, maybe Melton comes in. And then Brandin will be playing a lot with that second unit. Expect Brandin to play 30-plus minutes a game. The dude's young. The dude can do it. He'll be fine. But again, getting insight to what the starting lineup may be. Another reason why they want him on the ball, again, Brandin, if you're with us during the summer, you heard this a lot. He was with Team USA, the Team USA select team. They played against the Olympic team before they went over to, Paris, and he killed it. Trayce Jackson-Davis was on that team as well. They did a great job. And Brandin was getting rave reviews from Steph, Steve Kerr, other Olympians. So they know that he can play a high-level point guard. And that's what he did in college. Now, other people on this team who could also handle the ball. Kyle Anderson's kind of like Dre, can be a point forward. Melton can be a combo guard. Green, point forward. So there's a lot of opportunities here for Warriors to be able to have multiple players play. I mean, when Steph and Dre do the pick and roll and Draymond brings it up and Steph's doing the pick, that's sometimes more dangerous than Steph having the ball. So expect in this preseason different offenses coming in the first 20, 30 games of the season, really experimenting about what will be happening with who will be playing the 1 and the 2. Kerr says he wants to play faster. Chris Paul, great backup point guard. Really good for us. It was the first, I think, year in a couple years, definitely in the past 4 or 5, where our non-Steph minutes were better than they've ever been. But Chris Paul doesn't play fast. He's a slower point guard. Set the offense. Let's get it going. Podziemski, Melton, they like to transition, which is what they want from Kuminga. They want Trayce Jackson-Davis to get up and down the floor. Same with Wiggins. Kerr keeps saying in this training camp, we got to be in the best shape we've ever been. You think you're in good shape now? We'll see after training camp how much better shape you're in. So expect this team to play fast, and they want to make a bunch of threes. So shoot the ball quick in that 24-second shot clock. So now the other question is, lower, who's starting? He already said Curry will start, Green will start. The question is Green at the 4 or the 5? That's what they need to figure out at camp, as you can see right here. Draymond, 6'6", 6'7". He is a small center. But this league, everybody can shoot threes now. So maybe it's better for him to play center, and it gives you more athletic ability on the court. But now we're seeing the league trend out taller centers again. You got Chet. You got Wemby. You got Cat. So there are people like that. Obviously, Cat moved to the East Coast now. It's hard. Rudy Gobert, I mean, he's not going to shoot threes. But you get what I'm saying? The centers are getting bigger again. Looney, can he shoot threes? Well, he came in lean, and we already talked about in a video a couple days ago, he shot 500 threes a day. Yes, 500 threes a day at UCLA in the summer to try to get better at it. And you know what? It's actually paying off per Steve Kerr. Here we go, folks.
Looney take a 3.
He finished the scrimmage with a corner 3 and made it, and that was
really.
You're like, that's, yeah.
Okay. I mean, what's your? Obviously, he's trying to add that a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you like, wanting him to take?
I'm all
him in
for
the
it.
game?
I want Loon. I want Loon to be. He's not a pick and pop three-point shooter, right? I mean, he's a broken play. He's on the perimeter. Shot clock, going down. He's open. Let that thing fly. But that's different from being Kevin Love.
Yeah.
So, but he feels it. Loon still has to be who he is, which is a guy who's getting a lot of stuff done in the paint and offensive boards and setting screens. But if he's open, I want standstill shooting. I want him shooting that.
I love that from Looney. 3, corner, game on the line, bang, makes it. His whole team went wild. They know how big that is for him, how big it is for this team if Looney can shoot a 3 and help drag the defenders out of the paint. I mean, how many times were we looking at like Ben Simmons, for example? He can't shoot threes. He can't shoot at all. So they just sit in the paint. And now you can't do your dives and pick and rolls because they're not going to stretch. If Looney can make threes, he will have a great chance of earning that starting spot again. And with all the rebounds he does and everything else on this team. So now Draymond, again, at center, potentially. If he's at center, then maybe Kyle Anderson's at 4. And then your 3 could be Wiggins or Kuminga. Your 2 we just talked about, 1 is Steph. Or Draymond at center, and then maybe Kuminga at 4. But Kuminga's not big enough and physical and able to get in the paint and play that paint defense at a 4. So he's more of a 3. So then your 4, not going to be Looney. Not going to be Trayce Jackson-Davis. Kyle Anderson. That may be your new def lineup, which is Steph. Let's say you need a solid 3-point shooter. It's Hield. Kyle Anderson can switch. Draymond at 5 and 3 you would think is either Wiggins or Kuminga. Now, again, Steve Kerr saying, I like playing Draymond center, but not a full game and not bumping for 82 games. Green says, I'm good next to center. I'd rather play power forward. I like having that ability. And again, he knows Kyle Anderson can switch over to play 4. He can play a 3 as well on the wing. And they have that versatility. And that's why this team is dangerous, because they have a lot of players who can play different positions, which is something we haven't potentially had the past couple years. We have that depth, and they haven't made that big trade to lose that yet. If it comes, it would be at the trade deadline. Now again, Wiggins, Kuminga, who's at the 3. When they played together last year, it didn't work, and Steve Kerr had to stop. A minus 0.3 rating when they played together. It's terrible. When they played with Green, they have a 10.9 rating with a 116.4 offensive rating. So again, Green with that team helps a lot because his vocalization on defense. That's why when people like, yo, give up Green, let's go get Julius Randle. No. We need someone on this defense who knows the calls, he can vocalize it, and Green brings that to this team. He needs to stay healthy, and he needs to stay on the court because of no suspensions, and this team will be in a good place. Now, for Kuminga to win the 3, he has to become a better catch-and-shoot shooter. We know that. I haven't mentioned Moody yet because I really don't think he's going to start, but he could be someone who comes in the 3 and plays spot as well. Kuminga as a catch-and-shoot, 35%. Only Moody and Wiggins were worse. And Wiggins can be better. Again, he just had a really poor year. So if Moody can get his 3 shooting better, if Wiggins can get his 3 shooting better, and Kuminga get their 3 shooting better, I think that person will win the 3 position, the small forward. That person can shoot 40%. Then you have Buddy or Brandin or Melton at the 2, Steph at 1. We're looking pretty good at the court. And again, this is your lineup right here. So there's some news coming out. We'll see what the starting lineup is in the rotations in this first game against the Clippers. Don't read too much of it. It's only the first game of the preseason, but you're starting to get an idea of what Steve Kerr wants to do. Play fast, shooters on the court. Lindy Waters is a great 3-point shooter we didn't even bring up. If I bring up the roster again, we didn't even talk about Santos. He's more of a reserve player. Melton probably playing 2 next to Steph if they need an on-ball. And that's pretty much everyone. So the question is, folks, again, who do you think's at 1? Who do you think's at 2? Who do you think's at 3, 4, 5? Is it Wiggins, Kuminga, Moody at the 3, Melton, Podziemski, Hield at the 2, Steph Curry get a start? You know he is. Draymond a better 4 or 5. Trayce Jackson-Davis, Looney. Are they at the 5? Or are they going to be on the bench? So comment your thoughts. Let me know. Again, a training camp recap, giving you all the news. Those are the key stories, figuring out the rotations. We're keeping you updated here in Warriors Digest. You're going to subscribe so you don't miss anything. We break down all the biggest news for you. Deuces.